Nation Sports Show. After not reporting to training camp last week, Scary Terry McLaurin showed up to training camp for the Washington Commanders over the weekend. Tonight, we also bring to you the latest breaking news in the NBA and so much more. Our Nation Sports Show is next.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, woo! What is going on, everybody? What a crazy, hectic day it has been today. Power outages everywhere across the Carolinas and the great state of Indiana. And hopefully Ezra will be joining us here in a few minutes. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's edition of our Nation Sports Show, live here on the World Wide Web on YouTube.com. I'm your host for this evening, Stephen Wonder Wyand. I am grateful to be here with you guys here tonight, and looking forward to recapping the world of sports and a little bit of wrestling, because SummerSlam is coming up this weekend. Looking forward to that. But before we get to all of the fun happenings in the world of sports, got to plug the social media platforms. Up first on Twitter or X at Owen_Sports Show. Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show. And where right now we are live and in color on a Tuesday night. YouTube.com/Nation Sports Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to all your family and your friends who love the world of sports. And also, if you love a little bit of wrestling, follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook, Instagram, and the YouTube at the Nation's Corner. And as a quick note, there will be no show this weekend because of SummerSlam taking place this weekend in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. Looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. And you can catch their shows on most Saturday nights, where it's all right to talk a little wrestling, a little bit of fighting. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And joining me right here, right now, my brother from another mother. And I know he's happy because one Scary Terry has shown up to training camp over the weekend. He is a Washington Commanders fan. He is an Atlanta Braves fan. He's an all-around good dude. And he is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. JT, Joey Thornton, what's going on, pal?
That is right. That is right, everyone. Today is my last official day of being the big 3-2, because tomorrow I turn the big 3-3. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I am turning 33 years old tomorrow. Not feeling old yet. Still feel like I'm in my prime. I got several kick-ass years left in me.
Hey.
But what is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Tuesday night. It's great to be here. Hate that Ezra's having some internet issues in his local area. Like Steven said, hoping we can get it resolved here before the show goes off the air tonight. And keep in mind, I'm going to say this now, and of course I'll say this again at the end of the show. Next week, that's right, ladies and germs, next week, football is back, baby. We are starting our conference previews next week, starting, I believe, with the AFC East and the AFC North, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the North. It's the North, South, East, West. So
Okay,
AFC North and South next week.
okay, and then AFC East and West the week after, and then the
You
NFC.
you got it. That's the way we do it. North, South, East, West. That's how we do it. Make it make sense.
All righty, but yes, I am looking forward to starting our NFL conference previews next week. A lot has happened here in the NFL offseason. Some names are in some new places, and we're going to bring it all to you starting next week here on
Yes.
YouTube at our Nation Sports Show. But until then, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, including some happy and unfortunately sad wrestling news. But of course, we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But in the meantime, let's get this thing going, shall we?
Yeah, let's get this thing going. And before we jump right into the coverage of the reports in training camp, we do have to bring this up because this does have ties in with the NFL. Because unfortunately, last night, in a just completely ridiculousness of a act of violence in Manhattan, New York City, there was a shooting uh, in a building uh, in Manhattan, and it's travesty.
It is.
I'm trying to
I
remember.
got some. Yeah,
What is his name? Shane.
Shane something.
27
I
years
can't.
of age. Um, 27 years old. Just walking into this building and just opening fire and shooting a police officer, and then
Shooting a NFL employee.
shooting an NFL employee. Um, Let me pull that up again.
See, unfortunately, the police officer did lose his life. Prayers going out to his family
Yes.
during this very difficult time. But everybody else that got shot are either in the hospital or fixing to get out of the hospital, and all are expected to make a full recovery. And it was reported earlier today that the armed gunman was targeting the NFL floor, which is floors 5 through 8 in the 44-story building that he entered yesterday. But he supposedly took the wrong elevator. But somebody, the police were able to respond really quickly, and of course, the gunman eventually turned the gun on himself. So even though this was a travesty, um, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the gunman had a lot of mental health issues, as it was reported that he did. Um, but still, prayers and condolences go out to, the gunman, of course, and of course, prayers and condolences go out to that New York police officer who was shot and killed.
It's ridiculous that
It really
you
is.
read this stuff that takes place on, not on a daily basis, but we have been prominent to more ridiculousness, acts of violence, you know, and I, it's so strange to read this because, no, what ties into sports, because this is why we're talking about it, because the fact that this took place, it is just uncalled for. That, you know, things like this, take place, and violence is not the answer. It is
Violence is
not the
never the
answer.
answer.
And I have his name. It's Shane Tomorrow.
Shane tomorrow, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shane Tomorrow. He Tomorrow. I I would. I'm stunned that his motive was to target the National Football League. I mean, it's just, it is absolutely, ridiculous that, no matter what your motive is, whatever your motives are, it's not the answer to kill innocent people. I
No.
mean, and that officer, even though he did pass away, he died a hero.
Yep, he did. He gave his life to protect everybody else.
And it is just crazy. I mean, it said that Tomorrow suffered from CTE and and obviously, like you said, that Shane had some mental health issues, but that there's no excuses to commit just nonsensical violence. I mean, because we've seen school shootings or mall shootings or even church shootings. I mean, just we can't, and the thing I always will say, we can't live our lives in fear. We have to live our life, free, but also with caution. And if you are in any danger or you sense danger, protect yourselves, protect the people around you, and try to stop it before it even happens. I mean, it's unfortunate that 5 people were shot, 4 were injured, and 1 was killed. And we send our thoughts, our condolences to that police officer, to his family, his friends, and his fellow officers. I mean, at 3:45 in the morning. I mean, what the hell are you doing at 3:45 up late at night? Cruising the streets of New York City, in downtown New York and downtown Manhattan. I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, because I honestly don't want to hear that this man had mental health issues. He was he knew what he was doing, to walk into that building, with those magazines. I mean, you can sit there and say that, oh, he had mental health issues and he suffered from CTE. There's no excuses for any kind of violence. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. I mean, and when I read this headline today that his motive was the NFL, I mean, like, dude, just come on. Like, just ridiculous that this even took place. And this takes place, within several days before the preseason begins.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sucks, to read stuff like this, especially when it has ties in, to stuff that you're interested in. We've seen it happen at concerts, we've seen it happen everywhere, basically. And again, we can't live
Yeah,
our lives in.
concerts, nightclubs, bars, buildings.
Mm-hmm. And just again, like I stated, we can't live our lives in fear, but you have to be precautious of your surroundings. So if you sense any danger, be alert. And if you can, minimize the damage even happening, do what you got to do. I mean, the fact that this dude walked into this building, you know, it's crazy that to walking in there and doing what he did. I mean,
Yeah,
it sucks.
it really does. But I mean, just offer up prayers for everybody involved and
Mm-hmm.
pray that people don't get scarred for life because of something like this. Because sometimes all it takes is one instance.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on to some other sad news that happened last week. Um, let's just say WWE lost more than a great guy. They lost we unfortunately said our final goodbyes to a living legend. Some people knew him as Terry Bollea, but a lot of them knew him as the one, the only, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
And I have my feelings about Hogan. I have mixed feelings about the man behind the character, because the one thing I will say in regards to Hogan without Hulk Hogan, professional wrestling would not be on a grander scale. However, the individual behind the character, he's a very, he's a figure that said he's a controversial, polarizing figure, and he said some things that got him in hot water. And we're not gonna remark what he said several years ago, but it got him in such hot water that he was canned from WWE, and then they brought him back 3-4 years later, and regardless, even though I might have my, I was not happy when he said what he said, but I still recognize his contributions to wrestling, because Hulk Hogan, the character on TV, will live on forever. But the man behind the character, he's gotten mixed reactions. This is a first for me. Or probably I would say a second for me, probably behind Ultimate Warrior, because Warrior was the same thing. A larger than life character, but the individual behind the character was a very polarizing, controversial individual. And I mean, just it's crazy, and just thinking about, last week with Ozzy and then Hogan 2 days later, two people whose legacies and remembering are totally two different spectrums. Ozzy was beloved by not just the music industry, but he was beloved by the mainstream media. And he was a pop culture figure, just like the character of Hulk Hogan, was. But Ozzy was beloved. Hogan had his the people that loved him outside the business. And he also had people who didn't care for him. And if those people don't care for him, who am I to tell them you're wrong? Because we don't know these people. We don't know these wrestlers, these musicians, and I'm not going to defend what Hogan, what Terry Bollea said, because what he said was wrong. But what I will say, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan becoming the biggest icon in wrestling, and I am completely grateful that Hogan's contributions to the business took him, took the business itself to a high level. And if it wasn't for the character of Hulk Hogan, wrestling would not be where it is today, where you're seeing like the WWE. The WWE is doing 2 nights this Saturday and Sunday in East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium for SummerSlam. If Hulk Hogan, the character, did not explode into pop culture and have success, I don't think we're even sitting here on these cameras with these microphones talking about how big wrestling is. Because if it wasn't for Hogan doing what he did in the 80s, if it wasn't for Hogan's character turning heel in 96 and being the third man, WCW wouldn't have gone on an 83, weeks winning streak. That is how powerful Hulk Hogan, the character, was. When Hogan came back in 2002, he was beloved. And the one thing, and I'll say this about Hogan, when it comes to that run in 2002, the match that he had with The Rock, it was not the greatest wrestling match. Did it need to be? Hell no. You had one of the greatest box office attractions in Hulk Hogan and The Rock, who became a star in the Attitude Era. And these two went out there and they called this match on the fly because the reaction that Hogan was getting. And this is the part that drives me crazy with Terry Bollea's legacy. It's if he didn't say the horrific things that he did, we would not be sitting here and having, or I wouldn't be, because I know a lot of people out there have their mixed feelings about the man. Because we can't not, if you don't acknowledge, honestly, if you do not acknowledge what Hulk Hogan did to wrestling, you're living in denial. But the one thing that we can do as individuals is just find your opinion. Don't read into the popular stuff. Forge your own opinion. If you can find forgiveness in an individual, fine, that's on you. If you don't agree with their sentiments on apology, that's on you. Who am I to tell you as an individual? Do you follow these people? Because there are people that accepted his apology. There are people that did not accept his apology. Who am I to tell you as an individual that you're wrong or you're right to do what you want to do as far as your opinions? Because at the end of the day, we have the freedom to have opinions of our own. And that's the one thing about Hogan's legacy in the business that is just so interesting because, again, back to that Mania 18 match. I talked to Mike Chioda at a convention in Baltimore in 2021. Yes, 2021. And I asked Chioda, I said, Mike, I said, just out of curiosity, what was the match that was the most interest to you? Or what was your favorite match that you refereed in your career? He said, Hogan and Rock. I said, I get it. Because the crowd was incredible during that match. Just listen to the crowd. It was crazy. The reactions that Rock and Hogan were getting in that match. And the fact that they called that on the fly, like to me, that's amazing. To be able to call an audible in the ring. And that's the part that's so conflicting with me about this man. And that's the only thing I will say. If he didn't say what he said, we would not be sitting here having these mixed reactions because, man, this is a loss for the business. And just again, if it wasn't for Hogan, we would not be having wrestling where it is today. But moving on, I do want to talk about this. I do want to talk about, it was reported last week that Terry McLaurin did not show up to training camp. And he didn't show up because he was in a contract negotiation and he wasn't getting what he wanted. And then the reports come over the weekend that Scary Terry has shown up to the building. And I know you, Joey, you're very happy to see Scary Terry's name in the press for the good reasons.
You better believe it, buddy. You better believe it. When I was tuning into the Washington Commanders live stream and I saw Terry McLaurin walk out onto that field, oh, I could not have been a more happy camper. Now, as far as I'm concerned, having Terry McLaurin out there on the field is definitely a positive sign. And that really lets you know that he is all aboard for this season. But it's the seasons after that that still are kind of up in the air. Now, granted, Terry McLaurin has said he does not want to leave Washington, and the Commanders' front office has said that we are not trading Terry under any circumstances, in which I have full faith and trust in them that they will not do something that stupid. I I do think we are going to reach a deal with Terry McLaurin, especially since a team that we're facing this year inked one of their biggest wide receivers to an extension, which we will get to that here in just a few minutes. But yes, seeing Terry McLaurin out there on that practice slash training camp field, um, really makes me happy. Really makes me so even more hyped up for this upcoming season for the Commanders. And yeah, just the fact of seeing him out there was awe inspiring. It was great. It was great having him talk to the reporters, and it was actually quite interesting that on Sunday, SportsCenter was in Virginia, more specifically Ashburn, Virginia, doing their 50 States in 50 Days tour, and they actually covered Commanders Camp. So they were able to talk
Hmm.
to players such as Jaden Daniels, Zach Ertz, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, even Terry McLaurin on occasions. Um, I do know that the compensation is still being worked out as far as what we're gonna pay Terry McLaurin. Um, but yeah, this is definitely a sign in the right direction, and I just hope the sides continue to talk, and I eventually hope that we will officially sign Terry McLaurin to a brand new contract sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's what you can only hope for. It is to get a deal done because now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of things when it comes to getting the season getting in going the preseason beginning and talking about contract disputes, there's still another contract dispute going on, and that's Trey Hendrickson not getting signed to his deal in Cincinnati. What in God's name are you doing? This is your best defender, and you're not signing this guy to a deal yet? Like, come on. Like if you're gonna ink uh Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, two of your best receivers on offense, the big contracts. You got to help out your defense because God only knows how shitty your defense was last year. I mean, because that defense last year, and we talked about this tons of times last year during the NFL season in 2024-25, when Cincinnati's defense was the reason why they were losing games. Because there was a lot of times where their defense was not getting stops. They were getting barbecued like a nice, good barbecue dinner, in Kansas City, Missouri. I mean, their defense was so bad last year. Even the Carolina Panthers, for God's sakes, could score on them. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a damn if Bryce Young rebooted, updated, whatever they did to get that dude to have a great second half of the year. I don't care if it's Bryce Young original sucking, so bad, or if it's Bryce Young, rebooted and upgraded, throwing mechanics. Carolina would have scored on that god awful defense, and while we're at it, the Tennessee Titans would have scored on that Bengals defense. I mean, that is how bad their defense was. I mean, come on, Cincy.
Here's a better comparison for you. The Bengals defense was so bad, the Richard Raider high school football team would score on
Man,
them.
man, you know what? Joey, that defense of a couple years ago that was not that good. They could stop that. Or no, I take that back. Their offense, where when Coach Hoggard's son was quarterbacking, as much as fumbleitis he was suffering from, he could have scored on
Oh
that
Lord.
defense.
Oh God, that's really saying something there. Dang.
Tell me when I'm telling lies, as CM Punk would say.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You put Kevin's little girl out there and you throw Randy's cat Sprocket out there, and they'll score on this Bengals defense.
Oh God, now that's really saying something. I mean, I guess for once the Cowboys are let off the hook, but oh, don't you worry. There's going to be a lot of Cowboy bashing this season. We're just getting started with that.
There is, but as far as this Bengals defense is concerned, we're going to be prepared to see a lot of, I'll say 45 42s, maybe 41 38s,
Yeah, like there was
maybe
last
some
year.
37s, 35s. We're going to see a lot of those games this year for Cincinnati because it just seems like their defense just has not gotten better, even if they bring back Trey Hendrickson.
Exactly, and that's the thing is when you look at the NFL in the upcoming year, Cincinnati's margin for error is so high because of how inconsistent their defense is. And now that they got Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and Lamar Jackson and obviously the Ravens still to deal with, there is no guarantee that Cincinnati's going to be getting a playoff spot. I mean, you got to maximize the minutes that the minutes, the seconds, the possessions that you're on that field. You have to make every possession and every down count. And if Cincinnati is going to be getting off the schneid and having a better year, they're going to have to address a lot of problems. And their defense is the main issue. And we're going to get into that next week when we start our NFL previews coverage for 2025-26 as we begin, like Joey mentioned, and like I mentioned, the AFC North and the AFC South kicks things off next week, and looking forward to that. Very much
But,
so.
but yeah, as far as teams that should be looking to improve, we should probably include the Dallas Cowboys in that list. Oops, did I say that out loud?
I think you just did. George Pickens, shut the hell up. All that junky talking. All that junky talking.
You know,
I
there's
mean,
got to be at least one player who's the delusional one.
yep,
There always has to be one.
yep. There is always that one bad apple.
And for many years, it was Dak Prescott, but now George Pickens is like, ooh.
Hey, he's making
Yes.
Des Bryant seem tolerable. Just
Oi,
saying.
oi.
Just saying. Hell,
Oh,
he's making Terrell Owens seem tolerable.
he's making Tony Romo seem tolerable.
I mean, at least Tony was actually good at his job.
Ha, yeah. Speaking of which, before we go any further, since you said Des Bryant, I actually happened to come across something the other day
Oh, yeah?
that I'm going to share real quick. Um, First off, I'm going to lead off by saying this. I know I said that pro football was going to be back next week, but technically, it's going to be back in a couple of nights, actually,
The
because
Hall of Fame game.
the Hall of Fame game is going to be on Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. Check your local listings, and it's going to feature the Los Angeles Chargers against the Detroit Lions.
Interesting.
But I happen to come across this, and next year the Pro Football Hall of Fame is of course going to be going on, and we have some very interesting names who are going to be making their first appearances on the Pro Football Hall of Fame ballot, and they are as follows. former New England Patriots kicker Steven Gostkowski,
Wow.
former Cincinnati Bengals defensive lineman Geno Atkins, former Steelers center Marquise Pouncey, former Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Philip Rivers, former Dallas Cowboys receiver Dez Bryant, former Eagle, former Eagles running back LaShawn McCoy, former
Ooh.
Chicago former Chicago Bears and Panthers tight end Greg Olson,
Wow.
former New England Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman,
Man.
former San Francisco 49ers and New York Jets running back, and I'm sure he has some other stops along the way, which I can't remember them all right offhand, but he was known as the guy who never aged. Former running back Frank Gore,
Wow.
former Dallas Cowboys tight end Jason Witten,
Sweet.
and the two biggest names on this list, former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Larry the Fitzgerald, and former San Diego Charger and New Orleans Saints quarterback, the one and only Drew Brees.
Speaking of the NFL, it was announced that Jimmy Graham has announced his retirement.
Yep, those are the names who will be eligible for the Hall of Fame next season. And also, I mentioned that a team that the Commanders are facing this year inked one of their starting receivers to a long-term extension. And that, of course, is the Denver Broncos, inking their number one wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, to a 4-year, $92 million extension to remain with the Broncos.
Yep.
Hmm. Trying to see if there's any other football news that we can report on. Because there's nothing really to talk about baseball because the Braves just freaking suck. Oh, oh, here we go. What is this? Okay, so apparently, as of literally 30 minutes ago, sources are apparently confirming that defensive end Trey Hendrickson is going to end his holdout and report to Cincinnati Bengals training camp tomorrow.
Whoa. Look at that.
How about that?
Wow.
Interesting. Let's see. I know the MLB trade deadline is coming up. I believe the deadline is Thursday at 6. Oh, speaking of baseball, we actually had to say goodbye to a former Chicago Cub legend, the one and only Ryan Sandberg, who passed away at the age of 65. So prayers and condolences going up for his family. Let's see. Let's see. The Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely rolled his ankle during training camp practice on Tuesday and is expected to miss a few weeks.
Mm.
So hopefully he'll be able to be back before the season kicks off. Um oh, and here's something. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. He has been called Mr. Irrelevant. He has been called one of the best quarterbacks to lace up a pair of cleats for San Francisco here in the modern era. But now he has a new title to his name, and that is Dad. Because Brock Purdy and his wife Jenna welcomed their first child last week.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Less than and right at 2 weeks after star running back Christian McCaffrey and his wife had their first child.
Hey, it all comes full circle.
That's right.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Fellow teammates becoming fathers. That is awesome.
Yep, and of course, Cowboys Dak Prescott is focused on family, health, and winning a Super Bowl this season.
Well, 2 out of those 3 things he'll have.
Yeah, because we all know the Cowboys have already been eliminated from the playoffs.
And, well, like the song goes, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Wait a minute. Did I say playoffs?
Playoffs? Wait, did you just say the playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Playoffs? We haven't even played a game yet.
Jim Mora, that will never get old.
Never get old. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as NFL news. Trying to see if there's any NBA news.
And of course, we still don't know. We still don't have a clue what Giannis is going to do. I mean,
Nope.
we talked about, Damian Lillard going back to Portland. I thought that was awesome. And he'll be playing not this year because of the Achilles injury. He'll be playing starting next year. Yeah, I mean, and just to put it into perspective, folks, this is the last. Look at that!
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look who we have here joining us, the one and only Mr. K-Rod Kevin Roy. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, fellas? I thought I'd just hop on here for a few minutes.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Hey, even though it was unannounced, unlike LeBron, this dude still shows up.
Yeah.
Right.
I pulled the LeBron the decision. Will I hop on? Will I not?
He took his talents. He took his talents to the sports show.
I took my talents to Zoom.
That's right. So, Kev, so since you're on, so not to sound like Cody, but what do you want to talk about?
Well, hey, it's been a wild off season for the NFL, getting ramped back up. Been a wild NBA off season, obviously, and all things like that. Baseball finally coming, like getting in gear, and just ready for the NFL to start back up here. Matter of fact, this Thursday Hall of Fame game.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
we were
It's the
literally
last
just talking about that. The Chargers and the Lions.
The last Thursday without football for the next to the end of the year. So
Right.
And Kev, just to kind of bring you up to speed, so we've been talking about Trey Hendrickson not getting a contract, and then it was just reported literally 30 plus minutes ago that he is going to be showing up the training camp tomorrow. And we also talked about Scary Terry showing up for the Commanders over the weekend. So bottom line is this: there are players that are wanting to get paid, and they deserve to get paid because of their contributions in the last year. And I brought up the fact that if Hendrickson does not get a deal for Cincy in the long run, this could be very damaging to their defense.
now this is where I will say about the Hendrickson situation. The Bengals GM, president of football operations, are literally managing this like this is Madden. Like I get it. T
Hmm.
Higgins is goaded. Like T Higgins is a great wide receiver. He could be a wide receiver one for a lot of teams. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, you just don't got money to pay a $60 million quarterback who's well worth it, by the way. Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers, but you just don't got the money. They should have invested T Higgins' contract on defense and just let T Higgins walk, because at the end of the day, you can always draft another receiver to complement Jamar Chase as long as you got the number one. I mean, there's some teams that ain't got no receivers, and you got Cincinnati who's got two number one receivers and no defense. Every game of theirs is going to look like 97 to 94 because who the hell do they got on defense?
Not
And
just that, guys, but real quick to add to Kev's point, do you want to end up like the Colts with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, not having a defense? Because that is where Indianapolis did not get the job done the majority of the time, is because they did not take the time, the dedication to get defense. And not that you got Trey Hendricks, who's one of the greatest defensive players of his era. Pay this man.
yep.
He's Pay him. He deserves to get paid.
But
Like, what the hell are you doing?
Cincinnati cannot even afford to keep their focus on Trey Hendrickson, because I don't know if anybody's talked about it on the show or not, but the Shamar Stewart literally holding out of a rookie contract. What are we doing? I mean, he's crying. He finally got signed after 4 or 5 months of just, I'm not going. I'm threatening to go back into college and practice with Texas A&M again and come back out next year. What are we doing? I mean, and the Bengals are sitting there just giving in to him and doing this for what? A player who is potential, because he damn sure didn't have the numbers in college. I mean, Jesus Christ, that was his downside. He literally had like 2 sacks his last year. I mean, what's the? I mean, yes, he's got potential, but I mean, if you're going off numbers, I don't know. I'd much rather have the other edges that came out in this class, but that's just me. So they couldn't even be focused on the Trey Hendrickson contract because they got a damn rookie crying about fully guaranteed money. And from what is reported, he wanted fully guaranteed money if he were to go to jail or go to prison. What are
What?
you
Like, what are
waiting?
you
Yeah,
doing?
Literally
for
what that
real.
was.
Like,
He
come
wanted to
on.
be here even if something were to crazily happen where he gets locked up. And I'm like, okay, Michael Vick, what are we doing out here?
He's selfish.
That
He is
that's what
selfish.
it is. That's why I'm so glad my Niners stayed away from him and drafted Michael Williams, who obviously I don't know if anybody's paid attention, but it's pretty much
Oh,
dom.
Michael Wyand, he's been turning some heads in 49ers training camp.
Yeah, I've watched. I've been keeping the track on it. Let's just say in 11-on-11s with pads over 2 days, he's put Trent Williams on his ass twice. I mean, when you
Oh,
it's on your ass, you're kind of gonna raise some eyebrows. Like, hold on, this cat is 6'6". Reminds me of DeForest Buckner. But anyway, I just the Shamar Stewart Cincinnati just took a big risk, and I think they're falling flat on their ass right now.
wow. And the fact that he's put Trent Williams on his ass not once, but
Twice.
twice. Literally one of the best left tackles in the game. And he's putting him on his butt.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's why I'm like, I think we might got one, especially with the Robert Saleh coach defense. I mean, I've seen where on third down he's going to move inside to D tackle to rush the quarterback. I've seen where he's going to play base defensive end. I've seen him even drop into coverage as a linebacker. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But going back to Hendrickson, I don't know. They need to get paid. He's damn near defensive player of the year. He's up there competing with T.J. Watt for crying out loud. And yeah, the more they wait, it's similar to the Dallas Cowboys. The longer you wait on a contract, the more expensive he's gonna get. Because look at the damn edge rushing. Look at the edge rushers who reset the contract just this offseason. I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about the Cowboys. Like last year, you could have got Michael Parsons signed. Same with the Bengals. The edge rusher, what the edge rusher market was Nick Bosa. He was making the most at 34 million. Now you got Max Crosby, TJ Watt, Miles Garrett all making 38, 39, 41 million, and now Michael Parsons' price tag just went sky high, and same as Trey Hendrickson. You could have got Hendrickson for 32 million. Now you're going to have to fork out 38 million just like Max Crosby, because he damn near leads the NFL in sacks every year. You got to pay your edge rushers.
And see, this is
And
where
no,
Jerry Jones is a damn idiot for not paying these guys, because if you're not willing to spend the money on these players, and then when the next guy on your position, type of position that you play on the field, they get paid, that just raises the price on the market. Pay these
that's
guys when
right.
you have the opportunity.
That's
That's why
right.
CJ
And
price
since
tag got jacked up.
That's
Yep.
right. And since TJ Watt is now getting an average of $41 million a year, Michael Parsons with his big head, he's going to be asking for 42, 43, maybe even 44 million a year.
Now that I don't understand because I mean the poor guy can't play not a lick of run defense. If the NFL was all passing, yes, give him that money. But the fact that he can't stop the run, TJ Watt stops the run, Nick Bosa stops the run, Myles Garrett stops the run, Max Crosby stops the run. Michael Parsons like a traffic cone against the run. Holy crap, he's somewhere upfield trying to rush 20 yards downfield to get to the nearest in and out to eat. And then here goes the running back running wide open through the hole. That's why the Cowboys defense has been so shit at stopping the run the last 3 years. It starts with you, 11. What are you doing? And the
You're
fact
right.
that Jerry Jones, let me just rant for a second, real quick. This idiot son of his, I thought it was because maybe Jerry Jones is old, maybe he's senile, old age, needs to be in a rest home. No, the whole family seems to be senile. Stephen Jones goes on the record talking about, yeah, we want Michael Parsons back, but he's got to want to get paid too. Who the hell doesn't want to
He's
get?
talking out both sides of his ass.
He sounds like Jerry Jones, but he's 30 years younger. What it must run in the family. Then you got Jerry Jones in a press conference dissing his own starting quarterback, talking about, yeah, I don't know, I want Michael to be here, but we've had guys signed for $60 million and ain't played but 4 games last year. What? Why are you throwing your own quarterback under the bus? I mean, what are we doing? Why are we throwing your own starting quarterback under the bus? And then you go out and say, well, I might have made a mistake on the coaching front last year. So what are you saying? It was a mistake you released Mike McCarthy or what? Because you're the one that did it. What?
Oh yeah, you're that guy that hired a guy who didn't even call an offensive play last year. So how do you expect the team to have success of the guy who was the head coach of a team who did not call out one single play last year? And this is why I made the intro that I did back in January mocking these idiots because they deserved it for, the type of crap that Jerry Jones pulls. I mean, I honestly don't even think this dude is thinking with a clear head because he's old as dirt. Hell, I'm surprised he's not as older. I'm surprised he ain't as old. He ain't older than Elder Mike, for Christ's sakes. I mean, this guy. Hey, at least Mongrovian Mike actually thinks. Jerry Jones doesn't even think from his head to his ass. He doesn't even have
No, he
a
doesn't.
rational brain cell. At least Elder actually has brain cells that actually still work and that operate and function like a normal human being. I mean, for the love of God, Jerry.
You know what? I don't even think it's a Jerry Jones thing. I think it's everybody in the organization thing because George Pickens went on record yesterday of saying this is a
Yes, he
Cowboy.
did.
This is about Super Bowls. Unlike Pittsburgh,
Super
talking
Bowls.
about where I was in Pittsburgh, yeah, it's different over here. We're about Super Bowls.
It's standing up here. Shut the
Let me
hell up.
remind you that Pittsburgh has more all-time Super Bowls than the Dallas Cowboys. Pittsburgh also has a latest Super Bowl win in 2008 than the Dallas Cowboys.
And they've been to conference championship games.
Yep, and Super Bowls
Don't
games.
worry, I'll wait, Dallas.
I'm
30 years it's been since you've been to a conference championship game and a Super Bowl.
You know the price of gas back then when the Cowboys last won the Super $1.13 a gallon. You know the number one artist in music back then? It was Mariah Carey, for crying out loud. Since the Dallas Cowboys did something.
Oh, and keep in mind the Dallas Cowboys are now the answer to a trivia question. And that question is, which NFC team has not made a conference championship / Super Bowl appearance in the 2000 year era?
Oh,
The Cowboys.
and it's not like that.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like come on. I mean, the Cowboys are one of the most richest franchises in sports history. They have a lot of funds to throw around. But if Jerry Jones is not willing to spend the money to get players or to pay, talent, how can you say that, oh, we're going to have success? I think this is the year. You can't say that just because you're one of the richest, most historic franchises in sports history. You got to
Oh,
draft.
come on. You know good and well Jerry Jones near has a heart attack every time he goes to pull out his checkbook. Because he never wants to spend any of his precious hard earned money that he's earned over the years.
Yeah, but
Bullshit.
this is where you got to put it in perspective here. Hindsight, guess what? After all the money they could have saved by getting these deals done earlier. They could have saved $6 million here on Dak Prescott's deal. They could have saved another $8 million on CD Lamb's deal if they didn't wait on Justin Jefferson. And they could have saved more money on Michael Parsons' deal. It's the equivalent of saying, "Oh, we don't got money for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's playing for $9 million." Guess what that equals when you save money on deals like Dak Prescott and CD Lamb? Enough money to pay a Derrick Henry. But guess what? Now they don't.
See, and plus, not to mention, I just now happen to think about this. They have renegotiated Dak Prescott's latest contract not once, but twice to try to make cap space, and they still haven't done anything with it.
That's the negative about them redoing these contracts, because you're just kicking the can down the road. You're pushing all this money that you owe him at the end of his contract, and then when he's in his last year or two, you've got no choice but to extend him. Or if not, his cap hit's going to be $100 million. So then you try to extend
Exactly.
him to keep
Exactly.
the cap salary down, and you're extending a mid ass quarterback for what? I I
And not
don't
to
get it.
mention, one position on the Cowboys that's definitely weak, other than the defense, of course, is the freaking running back position because you had Tony Pollard who put up 1,000 yard season. You let him walk to Tennessee. You had Rico Dowdle who had 1,000 yard season. You let him walk to Carolina. And now all of a sudden your backfield consists of Miles Sanders and a washed up Javante Williams. What?
They'd be better off starting Ric Flair at running back, for crying out loud. Let him just shoot through the hole. I mean, that's basically where you're going. Because I mean, you obviously took a hit on the offensive line too when you lost the only damn decent gold in that trash can of an organization. And what's his name? Zach Martin, who retired.
Yeah, Zach Martin.
The only gold you have in that trash can thing.
Hey,
And now
hey, hey, and Cowboys fans that actually have a functioning brain cell and brain stems, where they have, full operations of their brain and their mind and their body and their soul. Normal Cowboys fans are sitting there thinking this magical form of words. Dun 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 dun. We're fucked because they don't have an offensive line to save their doggone life.
That's true. And yet you still have these delusional Cowboys fans saying, "Oh yeah, this is our year. Cowboys all the way.
Cowboys
We
going to
gonna
the
win the
Super Bowl,
Super Bowl
baby.
this
You
year.
ain't doing
Win them
crap.
boys." I'm like, oh my god, y'all been saying the same crap for 30 years.
I
It's
mean,
gonna be
come on, man. I mean, I
at
know.
this rate, it'll be 30 more years before they win another Super Bowl.
all this
Sheesh.
energy they have in the
Jeez.
season will change when they get waxed by 30 points by the Eagles on opening night.
Yes.
They'll be sitting there
Yes.
looking at the
Yes.
grass, singing depression songs. I,
Yeah. 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 That beatdown cannot come soon enough because we're ready for some football.
the quiet Cowboy fans up too. That's the main thing. Football season,
September
Exactly.
4th.
Cowboy fans.
September 4th, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be here before we know it.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Um. But yeah, when you think about again, they have. Think about it, guys. George Pickens is essentially the third incarnation of another Terrell Owens or a Des Bryant. He is basically one of those players, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, with less talent.
because T.O. and Dez actually produced on the field with the Cowboys.
They were goated.
But George Pickens, this dude spent so much time last year in the media bitching and complaining like a little schoolgirl, saying, "Oh, they're not giving me the ball, they're not throwing me the ball," and then when you're whining and complaining like a little baby, not getting your way, it makes you not focus. And when the ball does go, you're like, "Oh, I dropped it! I dropped the ball." Of course you
Well,
did, you
golly,
idiot.
if anything, if he was getting the ball less in Pittsburgh, he's going to be getting the ball way less in Dallas.
Because CD Lamb's got the CD ball thrown his way. Because
But you know what? That's the difference. Wide receivers, not all of them, but a lot of wide receivers are divas and they have strong personalities. This is why you see the best teams in the National Football League don't really have true diva like receivers. I mean, who does Josh Allen have? Literally
Antonio
nobody.
Brown.
Young guys who are trying to learn. Who does Mahomes really have? Not really many people outside of receiver either. Who does the Ravens really have? I mean, Hopkins obviously now, but who do they really have? Not damn nobody really.
but
Guys
see,
who ain't
but
trying to
see,
be
but
deep.
see, Kev, here's the difference between Mahomes and the Cowboy situation. Unlike the Cowboys, you don't see Mahomes complaining what he doesn't or doesn't have. He just goes what he has and he makes the best of it. And oh yeah, unlike the Cowboys, Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl titles. The
That's
Cowboys in the
more
last
than
30
Dallas has
years,
had in the past.
none.
That's
None.
yeah, that is one that Dallas has had in the past 50 years.
Yep.
You know what's funny about the Cowboys though? This is my last thing I'll rant on there. Is it ain't like the Cowboys are bad every year. Like they have these seasons where you're like, oh man, they won 14 games, they're rolling, they're cruising. Then they just nosedive as soon as January and February hits. It's like a plane crash. It goes straight into the damn ground. It's not like they squeaked into the playoffs and oh they got beat by a team they should have got beat by. They literally go in there, have these strong seasons, and then get their ass waxed in the first game of the playoffs. The only reason
Yeah,
they
for
made it to the
real.
divisional round a couple of years ago is because they beat Tom Brady, who was on his last leg in his retirement home in a wheelchair, and beat the Buccaneers. That's the only reason they made the divisional round.
Exactly.
They would have got put out in the first round had they played a formidable opponent, not the 4 seed. If they would have had to play 1, 2, 3 seed, they would have got
But
put
mark my
out.
words. If San Francisco and Dallas meet up in the playoffs, they're going down again because that is Dallas's kryptonite. It's the San Francisco 49ers.
And the
Yeah,
Packers. We've seen how that worked out.
And
Too.
the Packers.
that's right.
Exactly.
And quite honestly, if I was a Dallas Cowboys fan, I still be waking up with nightmares seeing as how your 2 biggest conference rivals met in the NFC Championship game last year. Just saying.
Mm. Yeah, the Cowboys. They're gonna be the laughing stock like they always are because everybody at ESPN always has to blow smoke up the Cowboys' asses and just talking about them all the time because they love the attention.
For real.
They absolutely love the attention. Now, Kev. Now, last week obviously it was announced that Damian Lillard is returning home to the Portland Trailblazers. And what are your thoughts on him going back to Portland, the place that he called home for 11 years? And are you surprised that he did not go to Golden State, that he did not go to a title contender?
No, I think it's more. He finally realized he did that 1 or 2 year in Milwaukee and realized that chasing rings is not for him. He came to say, you know what? My family's in Portland. My home is in Portland. I was raised in Portland, basically out of the NBA. I grew up in Portland. I might as well just hang tight here because Portland ain't gonna be a contender. So I think he wanted to be back home. He wanted to be comfortable. He wanted to be at peace. I guess he's just gonna play out his career like that and be done.
Yeah,
Can't go wrong with that logic.
I can't deny that because I can definitely see that logic because I mean he chose happiness and family over rings because not everybody wins championships. Some of the greatest players in sports have not won championships.
Yeah, I can't debate that logic, but what I can debate is that dumbass top 100 list in the NBA that
Oh dear God!
that Bleacher Report came out with.
Kev,
They should never be able to vote top 100 ever again in anything.
Kev, I'm not gonna lie. I did not read this list, so enlighten the audience, enlighten me, enlighten those that have not seen this, because I know I did read some of your posts on this, and what I've gathered, it was really bad. So go
It's
ahead.
horrible. For one, Kobe Bryant being at number 11 is an atrocity to the game of basketball. Anybody that has Kobe Bryant outside of the top 5 or 6 has lost their damn mind. I'm, the only thing they got right is Jordan at 1 and LeBron at 2. That's the only damn thing they got right. To have Steph Curry at 10, as I think, is an atrocity. To have Charles Barkley was number 21 all time. I do not agree with that.
So Kev, real
Sorry.
quick, who was the top 10?
Hold on a minute. I just had it. This is an atrocity.
But come on, man, having Kobe at number 11, like, come on, man, like he's better than 11. I'm sorry.
Yeah, here it is. The top 10. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem, decent. Magic, Bill Russell, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, Steph Curry. Then Kobe Bryant, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Durant, Oscar Robinson, Jerry West, Kevin Garnett, Nikola Jokic, Dirk, David Robinson, and Julius Erving. That's your top 20.
Here's my problem with this. The only reason why I have a problem with this list, not everybody saw these guys play.
Exactly. Yep. And that's where I have a problem. I have a hard time believing that Bill Russell and Wilt, and Wilt is different. Wilt did some things. He broke some damn records. But Bill Russell, just off of rings, should not be there. I mean, I'm not taking Bill Russell over Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not taking Bill Russell over Larry Bird, Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant. I mean, Bill Russell might be pushing 11 or 10, top 10. He's not number 5. I mean, if I was to make a list, I'm going Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem. Then I'm going Kobe. Then I'm going Magic and Steph. Then I'm going Shaq and Tim Duncan. Then I'm going Wilt. Then I'm going Bird. That is how I would make a list. To be honest, that would be my top list. I just don't see. And then I scroll on and look at Joel Embiid at 66, but Klay Thompson at 98. Klay Thompson has 4 championships. He has the 3-point record. I mean, if he hadn't torn his Achilles and his ACL, we're talking about the number 2 shooter ever. The most 3-pointers in NBA history, right behind Steph. So why is he at 98, but Ray Allen is at 51 and Ray Allen at 51 and where's Reggie Miller? Oh, Reggie Miller ain't even there. Reggie Miller's 60. I have a hard time believing that.
Come on, man. I mean, that's my only problem with this list.
Kawhi 32 is I don't know why he's that high up.
Who's 32? Kawhi's 32?
I don't know how he's that high up. He should be in the 40s, if that. So you're telling me right now, if Kawhi Leonard retired right now, he's had a better career than Steve Nash? I'm just saying. He's had a better career than James Harden. I mean, ring-wise, yes, but James Harden won MVP twice and was averaging 50. That's the problem.
Crazy. Crazy.
And to be honest, I love Kevin Garnett, but there's no way I'm putting Kevin Garnett over Dirk Nowitzki. I'm sorry. I just watched that 2011 playoff run and said, man, he did it with one team by himself.
Where's Dirk at on the list again?
Dirk is number 18. KG is 16. Jokic is 17.
Wait a minute. Okay, nothing against Jokic. But I'm sorry, but KG and Nowitzki should be ahead of him.
David Robinson, too, if you ask me.
And where's David Robinson at?
He's right there at 20 or 19.
Like, come on, man. I mean, it's almost like they're ranking some of these modern players just based off what they're doing now. Like, we're talking career-wise.
Here's also what I got a problem with. Scottie Pippen is at 28. There's no way if you say, oh, Clay and Draymond are way down there in the 90s, so why is Scottie up there at 28? I'm sorry, but what did he do when Michael Jordan left him? What did Scottie do? You're telling me Scottie had a better career, not like individually wise, than John Stockton, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, even AI. I mean, Patrick Ewing. I don't agree with that. But that's just what Bleacher Report says.
Where's Hakeem Olajuwon?
He's 12, right under Kevin Durant. Jokic is even up there too. Not Jokic. Giannis. Giannis is at 23.
Absolutely crazy.
Sorry about that, guys.
But yeah, that list is absolutely atrocious.
Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? I mean, to have some of these modern players ahead of these great players, like, I understand, we're trying to look at talent. Durant's a great scorer, but you got Durant over some of these all-time great players that played a full career. KD's not even done yet.
Yep.
This is the problem with these. This is the problem with these lists. Is these lists that Bleacher Report do, or like in the music industry, you got like the Rolling Stone, magazine, or you got Billboard. A lot of what these companies do, they did what you just did, Kev. You saw a headline that ranked the top NBA players. You clicked it and you read it. And by reading that list that Bleacher Report created, it got your reaction because that's what they wanted. And it got a natural reaction out of you. And that's the problem with these lists that these companies do, is a lot of these lists are just popular votes. Like, if somebody was to come up with a list of the best like rock bands in the last 25 years, they're going to have bands in the mainstream at the top of the list. I guarantee you. Just because they're ranked by these magazines doesn't mean they're the best.
Yeah.
And just because Bleacher Report ranks rank some of these players in these orders, that does not mean that is the gospel. That doesn't mean that's the truth, because it's a company doing their list and doing this just to get clickbait. Ridiculous. But I know we talked about it before, and we're looking forward to the NFL season beginning here very, very soon. It's just around the corner, and we're looking very much so to talking about the division previews for the conferences in the AFC first, and then the NFC. Next week, it's the AFC North and the AFC South. Looking forward to that. Then the next week, it's the AFC East and the AFC West. And that'll get us started over these next couple of weeks, because the full month of August, we're doing nothing but previewing these conferences. And before we close the show out, I do want to bring this up. we got, even though we're not a wrestling show, but we got a big show happening this weekend, and that's SummerSlam in New Jersey.
Biggest party of the summer.
Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, a lot of good matches.
Cody and Cena and the street fight. You got the triple threat when Naomi and Rhea and Io and Cody and not Cody, CM Punk and Gunther, which I'm very interested in that. You got Roman and Jay versus
the Braun Bronze.
the Braun
Bronze. Yeah, the Braun Bronze.
And maybe Roman can steal his damn Jordans back from damn Bronson Reed trying to be on some Devo type of shit, stealing a man's Jordans off his feet. So look at this dude out there stealing a man's Jordans.
And then, of course, making a return to TLC. I'm sorry, making a return to SummerSlam for the first time since 2000. We have a tag team title, tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Yep, I was just about to say that might be one of the most intriguing storylines. Every tag team on SmackDown.
Pretty much every tag team on SmackDown is in it.
Nick Aldis said, "I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of y'all fighting every damn week. You know what? All of you get the hell out there and fight in one damn TLC match.
It's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be outstanding.
Yeah, I'm definitely
so many great matches on tap for SummerSlam.
Hell, even old Jelly Roll.
Yeah,
even old Jelly Roll. I gotta give that dude a lot of credit.
He looks good, man. He really does. He busted his ass. I can't even hate on celebrities when you got people like that. That's really unlike Travis Scott. Jelly Roll put into work and actually tries to be a good entertainer and wrestler and athlete. Travis Scott's just there looking like someone's sitting and dwindling his thumbs. Ruined it. Like Drew McIntyre said on the podcast, ruined the fucking main event. Way to go, Travis Scott.
Speaking of which, going off topic for just a little bit, how about the big news that current LA Lakers player Luka Doncic found himself on the cover of Men's Health with his glow up?
Fuck no, that should have been Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll did more work than Luka.
Hold up. Luka Doncic on the cover of that?
Skinny.
Yes. He is on the cover of Men's Health. He has dropped some pounds and he has put some of it back in muscle. The dude has been working out like crazy.
Whoopee, Luka, getting the help that he deserves. You should have been doing this shit when you were in the NBA Finals.
He didn't do that natural. He probably took some of the LeBron caboose juice out there and lost all that damn weight.
Hey. You know that old clip that's been floating around, especially when AEW screwed up with that barbed wire match. So the exploding barbed wire match. So the clip should be playing. Where's the kaboom? There is supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. What are we talking about? Luka Doncic dropping some fucking weight? Like, give me a break. Like you're gonna praise this man, because he's and I get it. That's great. But Jelly Roll deserves more credit than Luka, because unlike Luka, Jelly Roll has put in the work to do what he's doing right now. Like, give me a freaking break.
Yeah, hey, and on a side note, I thought it was pretty dope that Friday night he come out there and hit Randy Orton's entrance thing when he sung that. That shit was dope.
That was fire.
Dope. That was he killed that shit. I said, damn, I was hoping he would continue. Just keep going.
Man, and also it's not a bad idea that the man that can actually talk on a microphone. Like, it really kind of helps that he's an entertainer, in the music industry, because you got to be able to talk, to the crowd. And
it also helps that he said he had Paul Heyman basically critique him after he got backstage. He's like, hey, what I do right, what I do wrong, what do I need to do? Basically, for months now, he's had Paul Heyman basically just, hey, help me out here.
See, Luka, that's what you need to be doing. Instead of, dropping the weight just because people are saying you need to drop the weight, go to your teammates, whether when you were with Dallas or, the Lakers. Ask them questions. It does not hurt to ask questions. But I'm sorry. You're going to put Luka Doncic on the cover of men's health. Like, come on, man. That I'm sorry. When like, thank God, honestly, that I can't see anymore. Because if I had to look at that dude, and they're saying to me, "Oh, Luka Doncic, NBA star, men's health. That's inspirational.
Yeah,
Inspiration to my
hey,
blind
yeah,
ass."
that's like the equivalent of putting Vince Wilfork on a fitness magazine. Yeah,
Oh
hey,
God!
hey, listen, he's fitness, all right. Fitness, all this cheeseburger and fries in his mouth.
Funny,
Inspirational, my blind ass. Give me a break,
fun, funny, Kevin. I thought you would have said Lindell White on the cover.
You know what?
man.
He might be. He would be next. No, it would be
Ugh.
Vince Wilfork or Albert Hainsworth. One of them's gonna be
Oh
on
dear God!
Don't let it be Hainsworth because he'll sit on you.
that motherfucker, Fat
Actually,
Albert.
no. That's Wilford. That's
Nah,
Wilford. Or he'll sit on you and tackle you.
No,
That's
Wilfork.
Luka,
that's his version of a
Luka
tackle.
Doncic, men's
No,
health. Get the hell out of here.
no, at least Wilfork can play other positions in Madden. I remember I had Vince Wilfork playing wide receiver out there, catching touchdown balls.
Hey, if you could,
Hey,
hey,
this
if
coming
Luka, if
this coming from the man who had former 49ers kicker Jake Moody at quarterback, Fred Warner wide receiver.
wait, hold up, Kev. You mean to
Well,
tell me
Jay
that
Booty
you
can't kick. I'm gonna make some use out of him. Damn, I'm sick of him.
wait, Kev? Did you have Brock Purdy as the kicker?
Yes, no, he was the holder actually. Juszczyk was the kicker.
I thought you had Brock Purdy.
Wow.
Thought I thought at one time you had Brock Purdy on the defensive line.
No, that was a glitch. Hey, I'll tell you that one glitch I showed you where, for some damn odd ass reason, when you do a hurry up under like 5 minutes or some shit, it's like the
Mm-hmm.
defensive linemen line up at corners. Then you got the offensive side guys on the opposite side of the ball. It was like after a punt return. Here goes Brock Purdy lined up at DN, and here goes damn Trent Williams out there at corner trying to stop. I was playing the Dolphins. It was no, not the
Trent
Dolphins. What's
Williams
that
running a
defensive
corner
tackle?
route.
It was the Colts, and it was DeForest Buckner lined up at receiver with Trent Williams out there guarding them. I was like, what is this shit? Yeah, that damn glitch. But don't feel bad. I did the impossible this time. I took Middle Tennessee State and I beat Georgia 86-3 in the college football championship game.
Damn.
Hey, that's the lead Atlanta
Damn.
was hoping to head in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Oh,
It wouldn't have done no
Oh,
good.
oh, good lord. Good lord. Having Vince Wilfork out there being a wide receiver, that's almost like putting Ezekiel Elliott on the defensive line.
that's almost like putting Ezekiel Elliott as the center.
Hey,
Oh yeah, we saw we all know how that worked out.
speaking of real quick, I know this actually just dropped today, but speaking of that, have you guys checked out the WWE Unreal on Netflix?
No, I have not
I have
yet.
I
Yeah,
have I haven't checked it out yet, but I'm going to.
yeah, I'm about to watch this when I get off here. When I get the baby girl laid down, I'm probably gonna check it out myself. Seen the trailer, thought it was pretty fire, so might have to check it out.
Yep, that came out today, and
Definitely, I like the trailer. CM Punk sitting in the ring with Charlotte. Yeah, did you shit your pants in the ring?
Oh,
No, but I
speaking
peed
of
a little.
WWE,
speaking of Charlotte, I do want to bring this up. It's really cool, that and she's always obviously one of the greatest female wrestlers of her era. But it's really cool to see this side of, and I really think this is the real life side of Ashley, because to me this is Ashley's real life persona coming out, as the Charlotte character on
Yeah,
television. Like it's really
yeah,
cool
and
that she's
I
doing the
like
things she's
that.
doing.
WWE knew that putting her with Alexa Bliss would get her pop instead of all this hate. They just knew that Alexa gets
yeah,
all this pop, so maybe we put her together and slowly come up with a storyline. Plus, at the same time, I'm just glad that WWE showing love to both tag divisions, the women's tag division and the SmackDown tag division. Finally, that ain't burning in hell. I think
yeah.
that's interesting too.
Speaking of which, we can see Charlotte and Alexa walk out with the women's tag belts on Saturday.
Yep,
I think we're seeing it.
that's
I
what I
think we're
was
seeing it.
predicting. That's what I predicted. I think they'll win it.
I mean, because that pop that Charlotte got in Atlanta, Holy
yeah.
Lord. I mean that right there was a massive pop. I mean, this character work she's been doing with Alexa has been really, really good.
And the only
Oh,
way
yeah.
that I think you can really progress that, like you said, is put the tag belts on them. Let's see where it goes
Pretty
after that.
much.
That's where I'm looking at. But
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
But as far
There
as
you go.
just as far as this Cody and Cena stuff is concerned, this is a match that I am very intrigued by because thinking about this, from the story perspective of talking about Cody saying, I hesitated at WrestleMania 41, I didn't pull the trigger, and now that there's a street fight on hands, he's basically saying I'm not going to hesitate to pull the trigger, and I've been kind of flip flopping in my head, with this because I've been thinking in my mind, could we get a double turn?
Yes.
We
Could
very
we
could.
get a double turn? Because we haven't had a good old fashioned double turn that's been noticeable since Steve Austin and Bret Hart at Mania 13 in Chicago in 97. I mean, that
Yeah.
was one of the greatest usages of a double turn. Steve Austin came in the match as a heel, Bret as a face, and they both walked out the opposite ways. Austin a face, Bret the heel. I mean, because the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is because honestly, and nothing against John, what he's doing right now, because I actually have been enjoying him, trying this different side. Has it really worked out, in the long run? Really, no. But I appreciate John, for wanting to do something completely different. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to boo him. He's getting the same treatment that Stone Cold Steve Austin did when Austin, to his credit, said, I feel like my character's getting stale. And Austin pulled the trigger on wanting to go heel. And he did it. Now, Austin's ring work was really good as a heel. And I think Cena working this style, I think it's been cool. It's different. I like his promos as a heel, because, he's saying the things that he's been wanting to say.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah.
honestly think he's going to turn face at some point because there's no way. Now, it may not happen at SummerSlam or a few weeks afterwards, but at some point, Cena's got to turn good guy again. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because there is no way on God's green earth you are going to be seeing the last match of his career where he is getting booed out the building. Because when they go to Boston,
no.
when they go to Boston, Massachusetts,
Don't get popped.
they're going to give him the red carpet treatment, and unlike Bill Goldberg,
Oh, my
John
God.
Cena's going to show gratitude and appreciation.
Hey, what did I tell
Yeah.
you even on X that time? I told you they'd be better off setting up Gunther versus Gilbert, not Goldberg. Let's follow that up with
Yeah, for real.
Gilbert.
Because Goldberg, that ungrateful hot piece of hot garbage, goes on Ariel Hawani's podcast
Yeah, I seen that dumb shit.
I mean,
All I
if they wouldn't do this to Taker or to Cena, you're damn right they wouldn't, because you ain't Taker or John Cena.
Or not even close. And then I still think they made too many accommodations for him any damn way in the first place.
And he's still bitching and complaining. I mean,
Everybody
he got
knows
the
my
send off
stance.
of a send off, unlike Sting didn't get.
I said,
Or
you know
like
what? You need to be
Undertaker.
grateful. You need to be grateful that your last match was against Gunther, because Gunther makes everybody look good. So you made your raggedy ass put up a formidable match. You better be thankful for that, because we didn't have to endure that
Exactly.
like you did when you had to fight the Fiend or when you fought Undertaker and it was a piece
About damn near killed him.
of crap. Nobody wants to see that. You're lucky Gunther made you look halfway decent. And
Because
then
only Gunther can make him look that good.
look at how many accommodations WWE made for you. They made sure you were going to get the main event to retire on in your hometown with your family, walking you to the ring, a championship match. They took the belt off of Jey Uso to literally give you a championship match against Gunther. Like, look at how many people sacrificed just for your retirement, and you still was not good enough for you. That's a sorry sack of crap.
If
But no,
I'm Jey Uso, guys, I am livid that this ungrateful asshole did what he did by going onto a podcast and being disgruntled, being that 58, year old, get off my lawn type of hot crap. And just the complete, complaining that Bill Goldberg has done. And he said, oh, 2 weeks later, I can spill the beans. Spill what beans? Guess what, Bill? You ain't got nothing. Because I
Exactly.
guarantee it, guys. I guarantee it. I think what the problem was for Bill Goldberg is that Goldberg did not. The reason why he's complaining, because the man didn't win.
I don't
Oh
understand.
well, I mean, it's wrestling. You win some, you lose some.
Listen,
The
if I'm
World
Triple
Fair.
H and I'm in creative, what is the benefit of having Goldberg win? All I'm doing is putting down one of my best talents in Gunther. Why would I squash Gunther to make you happy? Who's on his way out the door? I'm not doing that. Gunther's the best heel, like literally one of the best heels in the business and one of the best champions in the bit. Why would I put him and squash him to please you? No, I'm not doing that. But no, going back to John Cena though, yeah, I think a face turn is coming. I mean, you've seen him tease it in his past matches, like the hesitation with the championship belt. Like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna hit him. Like, just a second thought, just to him looking up at the fans and look like just second guessing himself. You can see that's the road they're going. But I also want to mention that going back to the preview for the WWE Unreal, I watched what was supposed to be basically the blueprint of the WrestleMania matches this past year before they were finalized. And you wouldn't believe some of the stuff they had, dude. I don't know if y'all seen them, but it was originally supposed to be CM Punk to win the Rumble and CM Punk versus Gunther for the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I saw that.
But then they
Wow.
said
They
that
were
CM
planning on
Punk, they
having
picked
ladder
Michael
matches for
Hayes.
both the Intercontinental and U.S. titles, and I'm
Yep.
like, whoa.
Yep, and then Michael Hayes was supposed to he actually brought up the idea of like or floated the idea like what about let Jey Uso win the Rumble? And you know who actually pushed for Jey Uso? Everybody calls him selfish, but CM Punk's the one that said, "Hey, pull the trigger, let him win. He's so over, let him win." CM Punk made that decision. He basically said, "No,
Yeah,
I want Jey to win. I don't want to take his spot. He's hot and he's over right now. Let him win. Let him and Cena go at it." That was CM Punk saying, "Hey, pull it." He basically gave the okay because they wanted CM Punk to win, and then they floated around the idea of Jey Uso winning, and CM Punk's like, "Hey, I'm cool with it. Go for it." And it was supposed to be Roman versus Seth, and Paul turned on Roman in that match. Supposed to still be obviously Cody and Cena, but that's crazy.
That's
Just
yeah,
amazing.
for real.
supposed to be like the U.S. title and the IC title, or yeah, both titles in a damn 6-man ladder match.
Yeah,
Holy,
for
Damn.
real.
that would have been wild.
That's a
Absolutely.
lot.
But
That's a lot.
I will say, on a more serious, maybe a little funny note, we're going to see a big return on NXT tonight if we haven't seen it already. And that is the return of Santino Morella's Cobra.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
nice.
MVP.
Yep, he's going one on one with All Ego Ethan Page for the NXT North American title tonight on NXT.
Nice.
Hmm.
But yeah, looking forward to SummerSlam happening this weekend. It's going to be a very action-packed weekend. Also, want to give a quick shout out. GCW's putting on a show this Friday, and also Josh Barnett's Bloodsport on Saturday. Man, that is going to be insane. I mean, because having all walks of wrestling life partaking in this. I mean, it's just going to be great. And Natalia has been killing it since she's gone to Bloodsport. And this is a different side of her that she has not gotten to shown. And man, it's cool to see, that this is happening. And that WWE is allowing her, to do this. And also, I want to talk about Karrion Cross and what this dude has done. This dude is showing how to get it done. He is maximizing every single minutes that he gets on screen. This guy is going out there, whether it be in a backstage segment or in a promo or in a video package, and he is knocking it out of the freaking park. He's doing great.
See, and that's why I'm looking forward to his matchup with Sami Zayn on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that match. I think that's going to be a very high profile, underlooked match. And I think that both guys are going to go in there and just give it their absolute all.
I think it's going to be a great match between Sammy and Karrion Cross.
Great match.
Should be a very, very, very fun weekend of wrestling action.
I'm just wondering.
Um,
Just wondering if they're actually going to add a stipulation to that Sammy and Karrion Cross match.
As far as I know, they haven't yet, but you never know. Something might get added last minute. You never know.
you never
Yeah.
know.
You
But no
know,
matter what they do, I'm invested in it because I like the story they're telling.
you know what I'm invested another one that we ain't talked about that I'm invested in. Damn, what Nick Aldis said, oh, you like being locked up, all right? Well, you're going to be locked up with Jacob Fatu in a steel cage.
Yeah,
You
I
want to get
mean,
people locked
oh
up?
yeah.
He said,
Man,
since you like getting people locked
know
up.
that even though it's a steel cage match, you know there's going to be tons of interference.
I don't see Solo beating Jacob unless there's another one of them damn members from their family coming out and doing something. I
Well,
don't see
there
that.
actually could be, because I've been seeing some rumors that Tamatonga may come
Oh, no.
back, but this time aligned with Jacob Fatu.
That's what I've seen too. Jimmy, Tama, and Jacob.
Man, that
It's a
big
whole
ass family
separate
tree,
bloodline
I'm telling you,
story.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that
What
was fun.
what
That was
Roman
fun.
say? He said, "Y'all think I'm going home just doing whatever? No. I'm going home to raise the future bloodline. That's what I'm
Dude,
doing."
speaking of blood and family, that shit was funny as hell last night with Heyman and Jay last night.
Oh,
When
that's
Oh
hilarious.
gosh, yes.
What Jay say? He said, you want to talk about my family? Where's your family? Damn.
I loved how Heyman was just trying to profess his love for Jay. I'm like, oh my god, like this is
Yep.
this is too good.
4 letters, 1 word. Oh,
Yeah,
Yay!
too bad Paul Heyman ruined Christmas.
I was just thinking that, Kev. Like, come on, man.
He said, "Oh, did your mama tell you Santa was real? Well, she lied to you. Your family lied to you. Did your daddy say he wants you to be an icon like him? Well, he lied to you too." Jay, I
Wow.
like when Jay started blanking at the end. He cussed. He said, "You know what? Nah, bump that. Run that shit back." He said he gonna get it. He gonna get his refund.
And
I
that's
just
the thing about Netflix that I love is you can kind of get away with certain things on there, unlike television.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also thought it was wild as hell that in that gauntlet match, Jey Uso, middle of the match. Nope, you know what? I'm about to run it back. We about to eat again. Middle of the match. Twice. Not once. Twice. Run it back. I said, oh, here we go. Oh, dear God.
Yeah,
He jumped over the top rope and took Braun Breaker out, and all of a sudden he was like, run it back, run it back.
Run it back in.
I never seen that happen in a wrestling match as long as I've been a fan of wrestling for nearly 30 years.
Hey, but you know what I will say, speaking of that, Robert, though, I think that actually Roman Reigns has got a lot of character development here lately.
Yes.
Back then,
Yes.
Roman would not admit that his family helped him. He basically was a narcissist who used his family. But now it's nah, Paul Heyman, you ain't keep that belt on me. I mean, look at you. You're like a walrus. Shit, how could you help me? It was the Usos to help me. Solo, Sami Zayn even helped me. He
Yeah,
actually did.
Paul Heyman didn't do anything.
Just
Man,
like picking Jay up, everyone's like, he still needs to apologize to Jay. I said, nah, him helping Jay up and getting his back is the best, closest thing to him apologizing that you gonna get. Just
Hey, even though he was never a part of the bloodline, you can credit Brock Lesnar for helping Roman Reigns out on occasions.
yep. Hey, that,
it's interesting because I mean, and that's another thing about Roman that's also impressive is his presence, man. I mean, this guy now has an aura around him.
Indoors insane.
He has
There's
that
there is a
it
reason
factor.
Houston, Texas was sold out that Monday night. There's a reason. It was for Roman. Everybody was
Yeah.
Roman Reigns will be a first ballot Hall of Famer just because of his 5-year run he has had since he has become the tribal chief.
And you know what's crazy
Oh,
is
big
the more
time.
he spends away from the business, the more over he gets when he gets back. It's the craziest thing. Like the less
Uh-huh.
work I do, the more over I get. Like damn, I go away
Look at
from.
that pop in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh
The
man,
minute his music hit the PA, that crowd
it
lost
felt
their
it felt
That
like
collective
it
crowd
felt
went
like
mind.
absolutely
SummerSlam
berserk.
2020. Felt like SummerSlam of last year all over again.
For
Yes.
Oh
real.
shit!
It was electric in that building. I mean, it was just the second the music hit, they knew what it was. Like the first 2 seconds, they
Mhm.
heard the drums, they heard
I knew
the
what
And
it was.
then
orchestra. They
and then
knew
Paul and then Paul
instantly.
and then Paul Heyman's face whenever Roman Reigns made his
He,
comeback.
he shit himself. I'm getting it, baby. He
And
looked like
that's the thing that's amazing is I remember when Roman was not where he is now, when he
no,
was just trying to come into his own. I questioned would he be a Hall of Famer, and I said no. But now, in the last 5 years, what that man has done, that right there makes him a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Because he took all now I will say, even during his first 7 years or so, his first 7, 8 years, there were some good, the Shield. That was fantastic with, John Moxley and Seth Rollins. When he was Dean Ambrose, obviously, with Ambrose and Rollins together, that was great. And then when the Shield broke up, Roman, he wasn't that good. Like he did not have a character. His promo skills were not good at all. They were force feeding him, and then and I know the COVID-19 pandemic was not a good time for the world, but it was for him because he went and
Because he
found
was able to go
himself,
out and reinvent himself.
and he took acting classes.
Yeah.
He
You know,
reinvented himself. He changed the game.
Yeah, because even now, without Paul Heyman, Roman is still like that on the mic. I mean, the shit he was
Yep,
spitting.
he is.
He looked at Braun Breaker and said, "Hold on, calm down, son." He's, I told you
I'm
once,
like,
Jim. I ain't gonna tell you again. Step back. Like, he was so good on the mic.
I mean, this is far from the succotash, bullshit that he uttered, 9 years ago. I mean,
Oh yeah, he's so much better.
this is a far cry from the tater tots comment to Sheamus. Like, ooh,
Oh
oof,
God
that was
Almighty.
bad. But Roman in the last 5 years has completely redeemed himself and has reinvented the wheel and has changed the narrative because he went out and did the work. Because nobody said, "Oh, do this, do that." No, he did it himself.
Yep.
And and we can thank Cody Rhodes for that too, because Cody was the one. Now I know he wasn't the first one to do it, but Cody, as far as one of the first ones in the modern era that comes on people's heads, Cody was one of the first ones out of this current crop of talent that said, "Screw it, I ain't happy. I'm gonna lead the company, go and find myself, reinvent myself," and he did.
He did. He
He
did.
did. And Roman, he took the time because he was supposed to wrestle Goldberg at Mania 36, and that's
Yep.
when the pandemic happened. And when that pandemic happened, Roman said, "I'm going away," because for one, I don't want to get sick because my immune system is compromised, for all the stuff he's gone through. And number two, he said it and shout outs to A&E. And I know that documentary is over a year old. I don't care. That documentary that they produced a year and a half ago or so, that was so good because we got a glimpse of the man behind the character and him talking about how I'm happy I am where I am, but I'm not where I want to be. Because see, that is what makes greatness, people. I don't care if you're a musician. I don't care if you're a sports athlete. I don't care if you're a professional wrestler. I don't care what you do with your life. You want to be good at something, or do you want to be great at something? You want to be great, not good enough. You want to be great at your craft. You want to be the man or the woman of your craft. You want to be the shiznit. And that's the thing, is I feel like now Roman has found what he is on television. That's not Roman Reigns, the character. I think that's the man Joe speaking to us on a daily basis because he's showing people what this man has done.
Yes, and I agree. I watched the documentary too. The same, I think, was it on Netflix or Peacock? The Roman Reigns documentary, but he basically credits his brother. I mean, the late great Matt. He was like, "Hey,"
That might that you know what
I
that
think
might
that
have
was
been
on Peacock.
that might have been the 24 documentary, but still, even that,
But he basically credited the COVID year. He basically credited his brother. He said, "Look, my brother sat me down and says, hey, you can't just do this what they want. Just go be you. Show them your character. Show them your real life persona. Just how your attitude is. Just keep that attitude. Do that. Go." And he literally took that advice and ran with it.
See, and I think that's the one thing that I think a lot of performers are afraid of is to go against the grain. They get complacent, and that's not a bad thing because even I, as a musician, have gotten complacent. With not trying different things like different techniques or this and that, what have you. But you have to be willing to step outside the box and try different things. Because if you don't, you're going to get complacent. You're not going to want to step outside your comfort zone and try different things. Because it's okay to try different things. It's okay to fail because we're not perfect. You know, if you want to be great at something, you got to go through your growing pains at what you're doing to get where you want to be. And it's amazing to see the reactions now that Roman Reigns is getting on a weekly basis now. This man is he's incredible at what he's doing. Like, put some respect on his name. Like, this guy is, he's got that presence. He's got that it factor. Just so good. So good. But yeah, looking forward to SummerSlam this upcoming weekend. 2 nights, East Rutherford, New Jersey this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Lots of great matches taking place over the weekend. If you're going to SummerSlam, have a great time. If you're going out to the Busted Open party on Saturday in New Jersey, have a lot of fun. I know some of my friends in the Nation's Corner crew are going to be going there, hanging out, having a good time. So shout outs to everybody that are going there. Have a great time. Looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I figured, since there wasn't a whole, heck of a lot talk, going around in sports, got to find a way to fill content. And this has been a lot of fun, breaking away, from sports and talking a little bit of wrestling. And looking forward to we get to us getting back to our busy schedule starting next Tuesday as we begin our coverage of the 2025 NFL season previews. We start out, as we always do, with the AFC. With the AFC North and the AFC South divisions. And then the next week is the AFC East and West, and then vice versa. NFC North and South, and East and West. And then, to culminate with that, we give our playoffs preview and predictions on who we think is going to make the playoffs. So that will be a lot of fun. And I can't think of anything else to talk about. Any things you guys want to talk about before we end this show?
No, I think I'm good.
Yep, I think I'm good too. All right, Joey, final thoughts, my man.
Well, first off, let's let Kevin give his final thoughts first, because I think he might have to get out to put his little girl to bed here in a minute.
All right, go ahead, Kev.
Final thoughts: Cowboys suck. Can't wait to talk about it. No, but anyway, it was good talking wrestling with you guys, talking sports, getting back in the training camp, football starting back up.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what time that is, so.
Oh, yeah. Time to tell all your
family.
family members and your friends, hey, don't bother me. It's football season, baby.
Yep. If you got a funeral, you better reschedule it. I'm just messing, but I hope everybody else has a good rest of the week. Enjoy SummerSlam this weekend, everybody that's watching it. Just stay safe the rest of the weekend.
Stay cool, because good God Almighty, it's hot as crap outside.
Yeah, it's hot as Boston.
Thankfully, it's going to be getting a lot cooler starting this weekend here in the Carolinas, so I'm looking forward to that.
Thank God for that.
Yep.
It's been bad.
It's hot as Satan balls out there.
Yeah, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
But great job, great job, my man. Looking forward to having you back on next week, talking about the AFC North and AFC South as we once again begin our coverage of the NFL.
Yep, it was good, and I'm gonna hop off here, and I'll see you guys next week, and hope everybody else has a good rest of the week, and everybody stay cool and stay safe.
Yep, take it easy, man.
All right, y'all. Peace, fellas.
Yep,
All right,
great job,
out,
brother.
Kev.
All right, Joey, final thoughts, my man.
Yeah, great show tonight. Again, it sucks that we couldn't have Ezra on tonight because of his internet connectivity issues, but hey, we had a 3-man crew because we had our boy K-Rod, Kevin Roy, jumping on with us tonight, so it was awesome to have him on. Again, as always, looking forward to beginning our coverage of the NFL season starting next week with the AFC North and AFC South. Definitely looking forward to the next month of sports shows, or actually, I would say the rest of the rest of the year for sports shows because we're gonna have all sorts of NFL coverage starting next week, and I'm
Yeah,
looking
there, there,
forward
there
to
won't
it.
there won't be no lack of content starting next week because from here on out until the end of the NFL season, we are busy from here on out because there ain't no
Yes,
shortage
sir,
of.
we are. Yes, sir, we are. Especially
But
since
yeah,
that first, especially since our first show in September. Not only are we giving our playoff predictions, but we're also giving, we're also starting our prediction battle for Week 1 games.
yes, we
So
are.
we're definitely going to be busy that week. But again, peace out, guys. And again, this is my last night of being 32 years old as I'm turning 33 tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to my birthday tomorrow. But again, peace out. See
Yeah,
you guys
hopefully.
next week. And Steven, you know how to wrap this up, my brother. So go ahead and drop it.
Yes, I do. And hopefully tomorrow your birthday is full of happy, happy, joy, joy. And I know that's just gonna hate my ass for that. Sorry, but I figure I say that just to pop not only myself but all y'all out there. But
Oh, and not only that, but we also had a birthday
yes,
yesterday
we did,
in our group
Randy.
chat. The Sprocket owner, Mr. Randy Gyrons. Randy, if you are watching, happy late birthday, brother. Looking forward to having you back on the show again soon.
Yep, yep. Happy birthday to our boy Randy. Uh, Great dude, great all around guy, and man, it's a great time to be a sports fan, man. And we're going to be busy from here on out next week. And this has been fun, the last couple of weeks. I did the whole music special a few weeks ago, talking about the Back to the Beginning show and the Creed opening night on their tour. Speaking of Creed, I went to Creed last week as a last minute concert with my mother. She's been wanting to see Creed again since last year, and it's so funny that coincidentally the show that we went to on Thursday, the 24th of July, was also the very same date that her and I went to the Charlotte show last year. So it's kind of funny how that worked out. How the same show that we went to of the same band was on the same date, but obviously in different cities. So again, I've stated it plenty of times. Creed puts on a great show, and it's honestly just mind-boggling to me that three-fourths of this band went into the studio with Miles Kennedy, the group that they're also in called Alter Bridge, and recorded their 8th album, which will be self-titled Alter Bridge and comes out at the start of 2026. So man, to find the time as songwriters to go into the studio during that time to record a full body of work, and it's going to be coming out next year. So not only next year is going to be busy for Creed, with Scott Stapp, but it's going to be busy for Mark Tremonti and Brian Marshall and Scott Phillips, the musicians in Creed and Alter Bridge, because they're probably going to be doing not just an Alter Bridge tour, but they probably got the Creed. They got the Creed cruise coming up next year, and they probably got maybe some more Creed dates because this Creed tour has been selling out everywhere they go. Again, if you're a fan of theirs, check them out. They're coming near you. Uh, Check it out. It's a great show. Very powerful show. Very, very good show with you guys here tonight. Mammoth put on a great show. Opening up for him. Chris Daughtry was really good again. All around great night. Last Thursday in Charleston, South Carolina. Great show. And again, Joey, I hope you have a happy birthday tomorrow. And again, Randy, happy belated birthday to you, our brother. And great job by Kevin here tonight. Hate that Ezra couldn't be on with his internet issues due to the power being out. And luckily, our power came back on in the nick of time before the show was scheduled to happen, because that way we could do the show here tonight. Because I wasn't about to run this show off my laptop with no power because the battery could have died. Because of not having no power to keep it charging and stuff. But that's beside the point. But the bottom line is we got the show in tonight. Great job by everybody here tonight. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Hope you have a great upcoming weekend. Stay cool out there, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy the wrestling and whatever else you get into. Looking forward to being back on here next week with you guys as we begin the marathon. NFL coverage, baby, begins next Tuesday. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. Same time, same YouTube by God channel. As we begin our coverage of the 2025-26 National Football League regular season previews for the upcoming campaign, as we begin with the AFC North and the AFC South divisions. And with that being said, for K-Rod, Kevin Roy, for JT, Joey Thornton, for Hijacker Mike, for Ezra Vickery, Randy Gyron, William Gyron, and of course the kitty cat of the world, Sprocket. I have been your host for this season, Stephen Wonder Wyand. And this has been another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. Not just talking sports, but talking a little wrestling. RASSLIN. That spells wrestling. And looking forward to being back on here with you next week as we talk about the NFL previews. And we'll probably be giving our thoughts on SummerSlam overall, what we thought of it. And with that being said, we are out of here. Take care of yourselves for the rest of your week and your upcoming weekend. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Turn me up.